Moving on to other global stories that we're tracking on WION this morning. Now, there seems to be no end to the long-standing diplomatic tensions between US and China. The White House on Sunday revealed that China has allegedly been operating an intelligence unit in Cuba for a few years, which it upgraded in 2019. The comments by a White House official come amid reports that Beijing was planning to set up a spy base on the island, which is located just off the American shores. However, both the US and the Cuban governments cast strong doubt on this very report. He further elaborated that the issue predates to Joe Biden's presidency and is not a new development. China has been spying from Cuba for some time, and it is well documented in the intelligence record. He said that the previous governments did not make much effort in this regard despite being aware about this issue. Meanwhile, the Chinese officials have responded to these claims and accused the US of spreading rumors with slander. The Cuban vice foreign minister also dismissed the US media reports as totally mendacious and called it a US fabrication meant to justify Washington's decades-old economic embargo against the island. The developments come a week before US Secretary of State Antony Blinken's visit to China on June 18th. His visit marks the end to long-delayed diplomatic talks between the two superpowers. Now, tensions between US and China have been at an all-time high, marking the worst phase of diplomatic fallout between the two nations. In February, Washington had cancelled an official visit to Beijing over a suspected Chinese spy balloon that reportedly flew over the United States of America. In May, the leaders of the G7 bloc, led by the US, had unanimously agreed to counter the economic and military coercion, indirectly targeting China. Earlier last week, US-China tensions reached an all-time high again when, in a risky incident, the warships of both the countries escaped, and I'm quoting here, dangerous interaction in the Taiwan Strait. The US has increased its presence in the Indo-Pacific region, particularly Taiwan. This comes in response to China's aggressive expansion into its neighboring regions. For more on this, we were earlier joined by foreign policy analyst Edward P. Joseph from Washington, D.C. This is what he had to say. Take a listen.
I think your assessment is correct, that had the visit gone forward at that time that it was originally scheduled, that the visit of Secretary of State Blinken, I think that the chances of some type of reduction in tensions between the United States and China the possibilities would have been improved. We've seen, you're absolutely right, the visit, the 3-day lavish visit of President Xi to Moscow, visiting with President Putin, who's been increasingly isolated and is clinging to a desperate hold on Ukraine after his unprovoked invasion of the country, a catastrophic miscalculation on the part of President Putin. That type of support, these type of conditions have aggravated relations. On the other hand, we shouldn't be completely pessimistic here. Let's remember, last month, the very well-known head of the CIA, William Burns, a longtime American diplomat, had a visit to China. And this visit would not have taken place if there were not high-level desire in both Beijing and in Washington to try to advance and reduce tensions. And of course, to answer your first question, could it get worse? Of course, it can always get worse. You mentioned this close brush in the South China Sea between naval vessels of the U.S. and China. Obviously, this situation could get much worse if there's any type of a military confrontation. And we know, of course, that Taiwan, China's aims and designs on Taiwan, an independent state, has aggravated the situation and is lurking behind many of these tensions. Please.